Recently, in China, they've implemented some pretty big changes with their games market to limit and control how long children are playing computer games. This is going to have massive repercussions in the gaming industry as a whole. I'm going to get right into the details, followed by looking at some of the repercussions. I'll try to play some devil's advocate, but I admit this will be hard. And then I'll give my personal take. So through China's new laws, children will only get to play 3 hours of online computer games a week. That's not 3 hours whenever they want, that's 1 hour on a Friday, 1 hour on a Saturday, and 1 hour on a Sunday, and only within the 1 hour time window of 8 PM to 9 PM. All online games must be linked to the government's anti-addiction system by law and require real name registration. You might think it'd be easy to work around this new system, maybe you could use your parents' IDs, but believe it or not, one of China's largest gaming companies, Tencent, is rolling out facial recognition to stop children playing between the hours of 10 PM and 8 AM. So the Chinese and their children will now need to be monitored by camera whilst they're playing a game. Talk about an invasion of their privacy. Maybe tech-savvy gamers could come up with a sneaky way around this. I don't know, maybe like having a pre-recorded video of your parents sitting at the computer and using software to swap this with the webcam line, tricking the system into thinking it's your parents playing. Well, there's going to be something called Midnight Patrol technology to monitor and prevent little tricks like this, and games companies themselves have been instructed by the government to prevent children playing outside the 1 hour gaming windows, or they themselves will face consequences. Previously, earlier rules set in place had limited children's online game playing to just 90 minutes per day. Bad enough, but not quite as bad as the rise to 3 hours a week. There's a few parents who applaud the gaming restrictions, while some on China's social media site Weibo criticize the government interference as being unreasonable and arbitrary. One person asks, "Why don't you plan when I go to the toilet, eat meals, and go to bed?" And it's a fair point. These new policies do give the Chinese government a lot of control, not to mention all the personal data they're going to get too, what you're playing and what games or microtransactions you've been buying, and that's whether you're a child or an adult. Later down the line, this data could be used against you, maybe for playing something at 3 AM before work, or maybe you'll be declined from a job application because of how much you play computer games in your free time. It's kind of scary to think of a world like this. Gaming addiction itself is being used as a shield to implement these changes. Sure, people with addictive personalities can be addicted to games, and there are those scummy games which are designed to be exploitative and addictive, giving you little dopamine hits for every little microtransaction or loot box you open. But not all games are evil. You've got those bad games designed to be exploitative and addictive, but you've also got games which are fun, brilliant and addictive because they're enjoyable or a fun way to socialise with friends. It's not the first time that gaming has been used as a scapegoat for control, greed and larger problems. You can develop new skills through online games. If you've ever taken part in any kind of MMO raid, like Destiny or World of Warcraft, they require organisation, communication, leadership skills. Brilliant RPGs like The Witcher 3, Mass Effect, Final Fantasy teach you brilliant storytelling and character writing. For some people, games are just a therapeutic break from reality. Like it was for me, some children could find their passion in games and could lead into learning and being employed in game design and game development. They're all massive industries. Maybe they could even partake in esports, but realistically, is 3 hours a week going to be enough experience? One of the other goals behind these new laws is to limit or control the expansion of large tech companies like Tencent, which is absolutely massive and controls over 50% of the online gaming market in China. It's so large that you may have heard its name before because it's been investing in games companies around the world. Only 3 hours gaming a week will have massive financial detriments to companies like Tencent and NetEase, as well as the mobile gaming market as a whole, which is gigantic in China. It's a bit funny because there's been some games companies that will design and censor the games so they can sell their games in China and meet their requirements. You can't have cults, politics and undead, so sometimes we have to even miss out on these. In some cases, there's been games companies that have lost all integrity, trying to appease the Chinese to make use of the Chinese market. There's the notorious example of Blizzard, who held a big Hearthstone tournament in 2019. The winner, Blitzchung, had the chance to say some words and voiced his support for Hong Kong protests. Blizzard decided to punish the player on the spot, banned the player, undoing his win and forfeiting his prize money. Blizzard also fired the 2 casters who interviewed him. Blizzard acted inhumanely and against basic human freedoms in order to appease the Chinese and sell games through them. This was so bad it was even featured in the news and the government eventually got involved. It's ironic now because companies like Blizzard are going to get a lot less money with this 3-hour policy in place. So like I said before, these policies are officially being implemented in the name of fighting video game addiction. And sure, people with addictive personalities and exploitative greedy game design both exist. But to me, these new policies are way over the top. If you ask me, it should be down to the parents to control their children in healthy ways, not the government. What are they going to do next? Maybe they'll limit people to only watching 1 hour of TV a day. Give them an arm and they'll eventually take a leg. They started with a limit of 90 minutes of gaming a day, now 3 hours a week. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets even worse. You've probably heard of gaming whales. They're players who will spend a stupid amount of money on exploitative games and microtransactions. Games companies who design games to prey on these players with bad spending habits are almost criminal. If there's one good thing in these laws, it's that there will hopefully be a lot less of these whales in the future, with the kids today being less invested and addicted in games in general. I really hope that other countries' governments don't look at China and start to follow suit. If I was still a kid and under these policies, I'd get so little games done in the 3-hour windows a week. It's hard to even imagine. And you've got to wonder, does that 3-hour window include loading times or time spent matchmaking? That would be even worse. Let me know what you think of China's new laws in the comments, and peace for now.